No one knows. I could have died. I could have choked on my own vomit. There's so many things that could have happened to me. Assalamu alaikum guys, in another episode of the Jahiliya Diaries. Before we get started into the actual diary, just want to say Jazakallah khair for all the love and the support, guys. Your love, your support, your just interest in my story and how I became who I am today is overwhelming. Just the love, the likes, the comments, the subscriptions. I'm hearing stories that you guys are truly benefiting from this. And be sure to drop any feedback in the comments below, or you could DM me at Wayoflifesq anytime. I'm always here for you guys. And the goal of this entire series is so that you can learn from my pain, and I'm saving you from getting bruised. Today's Jahiliya Diary is about when I started to dorm in my university. Now, before we actually get to the dorming part, you have to understand why I wanted to dorm. One of the major reasons that I wanted to dorm was because I actually didn't have any space in my home. My entire family lived in a one-bedroom apartment for a very long time, in which my mom, my sister, and my niece both shared that one bedroom, and I was shafted to the living room. Slept on a sofa in my living room for most of my adult life. So when I had an opportunity to go live on campus, it was a great opportunity because I'm like, oh, I could finally get my own space. Second reason, living at home was sort of killing my game. When I go and meet a girl, they'd ask me, so do you have your own apartment? And I would always say, no, I live with my mom. And then this would happen. I gotta go. Living at home was a huge game killer for me. It destroyed any chances of me for being with more women. Terrible to say and admit the fact that I live at home with my mom. In the society that we live in, that's known as a stigma. There's a huge stigma around living at home at a specific age or living with your mom at a specific age. One of the other reasons that I wanted to dorm and live on campus of my university or my college, I didn't want to be asked questions anymore. My mom used to ask me 21 questions. My mom would always be on my back, riding me, making sure that what am I doing, asking me this and that. Sex karke aaya hai. I didn't want to answer to anyone, and I didn't want to be questioned about when I'm in, when I'm not in, and that I just sort of wanted my freedom, and dorming on campus was my freedom. Another reason I wanted to dorm, guys, is because I was unable to have anyone over to my house. I was unable to invite any friends or anyone of that sort to my home because it was a small apartment, and it was just not something I was comfortable with letting people in on my life, and it was just sort of messy because we had a baby in the house, and it was just so crazy, and I just didn't have my own personal space. Also, obviously, how could I bring some chicks over to the house when mom's always home or someone's always home? It was sort of tough. So these were some of the reasons which caused me and really got me excited and motivated me to want to dorm on campus. So I finally move onto campus. I take out a huge student loan just so I could live on campus, and it was such a terrible idea. I didn't really have to do any of that, and it was such a bad decision and choice for me to make as far as universities are concerned, because I wanted to get as far away as my mom as I possibly could, because I wanted that separation, I wanted that distance between us. If anyone's out there looking for a university, a college, or whatever the case might be, try your best to go to one that is practically free, that allows nothing to come out of your pocket, or if it is, it's minimal, something that you could pay off, and avoid all student loans at any time, guys. And this is not just like Islamic advice, this is advice in general. You don't want to be 21 with a $30,000-$40,000 debt or more when coming out of college like that. And this type of debt is years amount of setback financially. So I'm finally on campus. Oh my god, it's incredible. I was able to snag a single bedroom, so I had no roommates whatsoever. I was just doing my own thing, guys. It was amazing. I had my own bed finally. It's been like it was amazing. I could decorate my room. I had little posters everywhere. I had my little music thing so I could play music and get some attention towards my room. Had some nice scents and candles going on. It was popping, you know, like I had my own place. It was incredible because I didn't have to tell my mom when I was leaving or when I was coming back, or she wouldn't ask me questions. She would call me, she would text me, and I would just respond at my own time. And if I didn't really want to talk to her, I could just not pick up my phone and just call her back or text her much later on and just say, hey mom, sorry, I was really busy. You're never too busy for your parents. Busy is a badge of honor that we wear now. A lot of us want to say that we're busy just so that we could feel important and feel like we're actually doing something, but you're really not doing anything, and you're not important at all. You're never too busy for the people that you love. I understand that people do actually get busy, but you're never too busy for your parents. You're never too busy for your mom, because there's going to be a time, guys, when your mom won't be able to call you because she won't be around. You shouldn't wait till those times to happen. We should improve our relationship with our parents right now. So I'm in and out the room. I'm getting to know everyone on my floor. I got music playing. I'm in a senior building, so there's no restrictions for alcohol whatsoever, so no one questions me. Everyone thinks I'm of age. School became this giant party for me, and it was in my third year of university, and it was just incredible. I had my own space space. I could do whatever I wanted to do. I had girls coming in and out. People knew me for being that guy, you know what I mean? Just getting busy doing whatever I wanted to do. People knew me as that person. Parties going on in my room, me going to parties, drinking with people, inviting people over, smoking with people, just doing whatever I wanted to do. I had my own space, I had my own freedom. I had no one picking up after me at all. And this I felt was license for me to do whatever I wanted to do. And as you can imagine, when you're doing things like this, naturally you're getting further and further away from Allah. And I want to be clear, there's nothing wrong with dorming on a university. There's nothing wrong with living on campus on a university away from your parents. I'm not one of those people who would say that you have to live with your parents or anything like that. No. If there's a school that is academic and there's something that they want to study at that school and it is an opportunity for you to study at that school and you have to go further away, live further away from your parents, and that's what has to take place, look, things happen, you gotta do some things like that and you gotta make those sacrifices. Parents, you gotta make those sacrifices too. However, most of us want to dorm and live on campus because we want to run away from our family and our parents. That's the truth of the matter. So let's not lie to each other. Let's not say it's for the academics, because it's really not. Some of us is, but it's a very rare amount. Most of us is because we want to separate from our families and our parents, and we want that freedom. We want the freedom to come in and out, have whoever we want, do whatever we want, and that's essentially what dorming allows us to do. So let's not lie to ourselves. Let's just keep it 100 with ourselves. So as the time went on, I realized two things that were happening. During this time, I'm telling you right now, I would skip class, I'd miss class because I had a late night the previous night, and every night just felt like a Friday night or a Saturday night, and they all just meshed together. I was partying, I was doing whatever I wanted to do, and school and academics became an option, and it was no longer a priority. For me, priorities were having fun with my friends and doing whatever the hell I wanted to do. In this process, I skipped a lot of classes, I was late to a lot of classes, and my academic performance dropped significantly, so much so that I became on academic probation. That's when your average, your GPA drops below a specific amount, which causes the deans of the school to actually write you a letter letting you know that there's a possibility that you might get kicked out of school. One of the wake-up calls that I had, one of my mathematics classes, where I actually failed the class, and I'm not talking about getting a D. I'm not talking about a C- to prevent you from getting a credit. I'm talking about a straight up F. During this time, guys, I stepped further and further away from Islam. Like, Allah was not even a concern of me, and the only person who used to remind me of Allah and remind me to fear Allah and reminding me of my deen and my religion was my mom. And I further distanced myself away from my mom. I would just go days and weeks without calling my mom. I would avoid talking to my mom because I just felt like I got that ultimate freedom. And my relationship with my mom continued to disintegrate and just get worse and worse by the days passing. And I remember one day I went to a party and I had too much to drink and too much to smoke. We were there after the party and I couldn't handle it. Things were just like moving and my feet couldn't stay on the ground. Everything was just shaking and everything was just wrong, and I just got really, really sick. And I remember some of my friends took me to my room and laid me on my side, put a bucket next to me and walked out. No one knows. I could have died. I could have choked on my own vomit. There's so many things that could have happened to me. Do I expect someone to sleep in the room with me to make sure I'm okay? No. But I'm just saying, guys, like, all that glitters is not gold. What you think is an amazing college experience is not what it's really about. College and university is about learning about what you're trying to study, right? If that's something you want to do, you do that. And socializing and making friends and networking. But if your priorities are just networking, just socializing, just friends, and academic is not even a priority, and you're in for a surprise because you're not going to make it. And at that point, I remember lying down just sick, using that bucket, thinking about my mom and thinking about the fact that my mom would never have done that to me. And if I was sick, my mom would have looked after me. And if I needed something, my mom would take care of me. My mom would make me food, and my mom would do things that to me. And I don't mean like I need to be coddled. I'm just saying that my mom showed a genuine love for me that I never experienced from another person. And that's the love of a mother that we can't duplicate or replicate that type of love. But I had too much pride to admit that to my mom. I had too much pride to call my mom and maintain that relationship with my mom. I only called my mom when I needed something. I'd only go home when I needed to do laundry or something like that. But I continue to distance myself from my mom. Now that I'm trying to be a better person right now, I realize that that experience taught me a lot about myself. It taught me a lot about my environment. And it taught me a lot about how restrictions that our parents put upon us is not because they don't want us to have fun, or it's it's not because they don't want us to enjoy our lives. It's because it's better for us. Now, I'm sure there's parents who are doing this without explaining this. It comes from a place of love. And I'm sure there's parents who are not telling their children where it's coming from, showing their children where it's coming from. And it seems very authoritative, and it doesn't seem like it's coming from a place of love, but I can promise you that it is. And our parents have different weird ways of showing love and care towards you. And parents need to do a better job explaining and saying that it's coming from a place of love, telling the children that you love them and that you care about them, and you're doing this so that they can be better people and they could be safe on the day of judgment. Not just enforcing things blindly, or using your authority that, hey, I'm your mother, you have to listen to me, or you have to respect your parents, you have to respect your father because I said so. When you use rank to explain things to your children, you're only alienating them and isolating them even more. And the more tougher you are on people, the more they want to run away from you. And that's exactly what I did, and I know there's a lot of other people who are doing the exact same thing. The Messenger Salaam was taught by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran that if you were indeed harsh upon them, if you were tough on the companions, they would have ran away from you. And it is the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that has allowed you to be gentle with them. So if we want people to stay in our lives and we want to attract people in our lives, we need to be gentle with people. We need to be understanding and patient with people, but we should never be difficult with people. And going through this, guys, makes me appreciate my relationship with my mom even more right now, and making me appreciate what relationship my mom and I have now. So much so that once upon a time, my mom and I would just fight. Like if we got in a car together, it was a fight, it was an argument. If we were in the same room together, it was an argument, it was a fight. But alhamdulillah, that's changed now. Better relationship now, a beautiful relationship, alhamdulillah, and we're trying to make it better. Inshallah, next week my mom and I are going to Umrah together, and this is a woman I despise. I despised my mom. I ran away from my mom. I hated my mom. At one point, our relationship with my mom deteriorated. It fell apart. It wasn't until I developed a relationship with Allah, improved my relationship with Allah, learned more about myself, that I was able to appreciate and respect my relationship with my mom. So if you're someone out there struggling with the relationship with your parent, one of the reasons you're struggling with it, besides the generational gaps or just bumping heads naturally that teenagers do with their parents, it's because you need to establish a better relationship with Allah. The better relationship you have with Allah, the more you're focused on pleasing Allah, the more you'll realize that part of pleasing Allah is pleasing your parents, and not appeasing your parents, but developing a better relationship with your parents. So if you find your parents someone hard to get along with, you make that first step. You make those efforts, but don't leave it to your parents. My mom and I, alhamdulillah, are going on Umrah together, and I'm super excited about that, guys. And I pray that you guys develop a better relationship with your parents. I pray that you don't run away from your parents. I pray that you're not running away from home, that if you're going to dorm and reside on university, on campus, that you're doing it for the right reasons, and you're not doing it to get your space or your freedom, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala owns everything that we have, and our freedom belongs to Allah. Don't think that you can run away from this, guys, because you can't. That was it, guys. I sincerely appreciate you listening. Jazakallah khair for getting all the way through this video. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you guys. For sure, I will be making dua for all of you guys on Umrah next week when I'm there, inshallah. Please make sure that you drop your dua requests, or if you have any dua requests, please follow me and send me a DM at my Instagram, Wayoflifesq. I'll be more than happy to reply and make that dua for you as well. Please drop your comments below. Tell me below a story about a relationship issue that you've had with your parents. Have you ever had a relationship issue with your parents? Have you ever dormed on campus? Do you know of people who dorm on campus? What kind of stories have you heard? Drop them in the comments below. I love you all for the sake of Allah. I'm super excited to go. Please drop any feedback, any suggestions down below. I'll be sure to make dua for all of you guys. Please make sure that you keep me in your duas as well. I love you all for the sake of Allah. I'm out.